Welcome to this segment of Soul, Silence, and Sound. This is brought to you by BeSimply.
Stars, trees, clouds, and the moon. They all have a meaning and they look just like
Segment of Soul, Silence, and Sound. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here in this moment. And as we migrate into the full moon here on the North American continent, on the West Coast, it will be happening around sundown and at dusk. So if you're in the area or wherever you are, look both east and west and see what occurs for you. And so I want to share that, this past 2 lunar cycle and a half has been really this powerful clearing that's happening and welcoming at the same time to rise up into your highest self. And as I mentioned, as we went into this new lunar cycle, the feminine is being called to, one, do a lot of reconciliation and healing. And some might have heard that as like all of a sudden everything's going to be perfect and kumbaya, but really what's happening is a deeper level of excavation is happening within the biological feminine. And all of you have feminine inside of you. So your energetic feminine also is going through an excavation. And those that were destined to be in a physical form that has the potential to have a child in this lifetime, that clearing and kind of, shaking, for lack of better words, is for a reason. Because it's that moment to start to give way to all the atrocities that have been perpetrated by our brothers and sisters towards one another in humanity. And no matter what our history has been to lead us to here, we are here all together. And I know in this lifetime, I've had many times in ceremony and contemplation to make peace with quite an original memory transition and to where we are now. And the memory would always come that, we all are here now. And as I mentioned in the last talk, there was a moment where the male beings broke through and created a perpetration on this feminine planet. And so when we think about that, it could mean a lot of things to people in the context of today. However, the feminine was in her most divine form. It's not in the way that you would think in this moment in time, completely autonomous and in such a frequency that could manifest physical life without needing anyone else. So it wasn't, what you would think like families of women as couples, but it was actually a woman by herself with her community and recreating life in many forms, creation. And at the time when those beings came in, as I mentioned last time, there was a sever and a anger. And so part of my eternal path has been partially to make peace with that. And that teaching has been brought to me through plant medicines, has been brought to me through moments where I'm leading Vision Quest. And like I said, every single time, the message has been that we are all here. And also for people that are wanting to be like extreme in the feminine department, is that we would have evolved into a very cold, that's what I was shown, a very cold planet, which exists in other lands. Even on this earth plane, we have very cold areas. And so with the absence of the yang energy and the manifestation of the physical form of the yang, we would have been destined for a completely frozen ecosystem, which eventually would probably just migrate into something completely different. And that's why the healing and the letting go of the anger and the original violation to this planet, so that we can all heal. And that in itself is about fear and perpetration being removed, and we're in that process. What that also means is that for each and every one of you, that's an internal conversation. It means that that which you are destined to heal will be showing up and has been showing up for the past 6 weeks or so. And for many that have gone through their awakening, once that started, that kind of put you on that track of reconciling and making peace. And so now humanity is closer and closer to coming to inner union. And then when the inner union occurs, the world is very different. It's just like me taking you back billions of years. You, in your mind, maybe can imagine, but you're putting a lens based on where you sit in society and what labels are available and all those things. But yet it was a completely different magical space that was amazing. And no wonder people wanted to jump in and get some of that. But what that led us to is now, and we are at a place where the polarities from within to the outside are under a course correction. And by each one of us continuing to pave that way to peace, inner peace, and that goes to outer peace. You know, if you are peaceful from within, then you can share and give and be a part of contributing to peace in the outside world. And so these old concepts of war and destruction and harm and taking without asking are really going to become compost in this new era that we are all paving our way into. The most difficult part is when we have syntax, when we have language, when we have things that are written down that kind of guide our attention to someplace else that actually isn't even manifest yet. That gets confusing. And so that's why many of the indigenous culture would see that all the text would be put down for a period. And the reason for that is so that the new could be birthed and the reconciliation could happen and the peace could happen. You know, it's kind of like a giant storm, and until peace is found, it's hard to like really build anything from something that really was never destined to sustain itself. And now we're moving into a direction where it is more in alignment with how this ecosystem was created. And it's abundant, it's regenerative, it has renewal frequencies, and has the ability to provide for all. And so all the things you can think of that are based on a debt-based mindset, a debt-based culture, debt-based system are going to be removed systematically because they make no sense. And the beings that are super attached to those, this is a little tip for you. I would encourage you to start to figure out how you're going to really humble down to yourself and learn what generosity, authentic generosity is, not manipulative generosity, happens. And that's, we talked about the takers leaving. So ultimately right now we're like upside down because the people that are really good at taking are metaphorically and literally have been on top. And this is that humbling moment for all of them to humble down and bow down to themselves and what they've done, and potentially learn the value of regenerative world system. And if they plan to stay around, it would be good that they start to learn, and they don't get it overnight. You know, it's kind of like anything. we sometimes kid ourselves, that radical honesty is so important. We think, oh, this is going to last forever. And, like the addict will keep going to the slot machine or to take another hit or another drink or buy one more thing that they don't need. They think they have more time, but really, eventually that pattern goes through entropy, and that heat death brings it into like a compostable form so that it can reemerge in a new way. And that's where we're at. We're at a place of reemergence and preparing for that. So as I mentioned momentarily, doesn't happen overnight. Remember that the unexplainables system does not operate with chronos time. And sometimes things can seem instantaneous. However, they have happened over incremental process, and one has been the awakening and the remembrance through humanity, and that those are souls that are sovereign and are manifest in a physical body, and their energetic field has been awakening and awakening and awakening and holding a level of observation so that others can awaken. And so for those of you that might be a little tired, you're tired of watching the reruns of everything, know that we are in a field of course correction for the benefit of all. And if you can keep holding your attention there, that would be fantastic. And so in the course correction, this is really the part that's so important, is that it is to speak what one wants to be. And so when people repeat sound bites and get sucked into news feeds, social media feeds, all those things, they're under mind control, they're under a spell. And it's really easy based on emotional buy-in or fear buy-in to repeat those sound bites. But understand, everything that maybe in your heart doesn't serve humanity is ready to be complete. And so what that means is, one, visualizing the world you want to be for within you to the outside world for the benefit of all, to the best of your abilities in this given moment. And then from there to speak that which is for the benefit of all. And then from there, take action for the benefit of all. And if you are adhered to your own inner code of conduct, that will help give you those guardrails in this process. Every single one of you, as I mentioned, is unique, has a different frequency, has a different contributing factor to this beautiful tapestry we weave together. And when one has maybe bought into a lot of what our society presents, it's easy to be a part of that taking, because that's the system. It was a debt-based system that was built, and now it's going through this transition and this memory of the regenerative possibilities from within. And when we want to be fully aligned with our full potential, that's where we start saying, okay, I'm going to think, speak, and act in the way that I would like to be treated, the way that I would like to see a society built. And I'm not going to be dishonest to myself. That was part of a huge teaching this past 6 weeks, is I'm not going to lie to myself or others. And that is so important, because we can deceive ourselves in staying in relationships too long, trying to make something that it is in order to avoid healing, or that it's not, meaning that we'll trick ourselves to like buy into a person, place, or thing because we think it's something and it means something, but it doesn't. It's just another distraction to avoid healing and liberating thyself to be in your full potential and a contributing member to society, versus staying in that destructive cycle that most of humanity has participated in. And so that radical honesty will help in this process. And it's really important, especially for those that create industry in this world system and those that contribute to industry. When one really sacrifices another important word, sacrifices one's own ethics because they feel they have to. Again, this diminishes. And this isn't going to happen overnight. So these are micro evaluations, and systematically you start bringing yourself more and more into integrity. Simultaneously, as each and every one of you do that, that course correction will get stronger and stronger. And the building of something so beautiful will be more prevalent everywhere. And it's exciting. And also right now, of course, it feels like heart-wrenching at the same time. So how do we do both things? We balance the scales. We, one, extend compassion, love, care. We don't bypass what someone's suffering is. And on the other side, we start building and growing and really creating. And maybe the things you're offering, that compassion, that empathy, welcoming someone into their highest and best self, that you bring them over to part of the vision you have. And again, don't confuse this that you're going to be able to save the perpetrator. This is really about extending the hand to those that have been harmed, those that are being harmed, those that have been oppressed. That's the focus right now. And then also building what you're ready to have the world be. And the beautiful thing about a base principle is that where there is a perceived value, the energy will flow there and it will be created. And the magical thing you can look at, even in your own garden, is to watch what grows. This year I had this huge dandelion. Well, it was small, and then it grew really taller than me. I just let it grow as big as it could. It was growing in the eastern part of my prayer wheel, and that eastern side is the new beginnings. And the dandelion is well known for clearing the liver channel. And I was like, this is so beautiful. I'm just going to let it get as big as it wants to. And I will get to clearing the garden later this week in this area. And it's symbolic. And so watch what's growing in your garden, what you need, what's getting large. There's no need to like hyper control a garden system. Rather, just see what nature provides you. And that will be the same on your inner and outer world. What needs to be cleared, what needs to be preserved, and what's ready to be built. So in the course correction, as you fall further into an understanding of your contributing factor to your own microcosm, your life, your community, your family, that will have a contributing factor to the whole. And so it is very easy in this moment to get distracted by things that are on the macro that you physically cannot have an impact on. And so think of it this way, that if you do have that role, fantastic, please help humanity to the best of your ability. But if you don't, you're taking your precious energy and focusing it where it can't serve. It can't serve. We want the three things to happen: an idea, a thought in your mind that flows to spoken word of you, what you want to be, speak what you want to be, and then take action towards what you want to be. When those three things happen, then that creates a ripple for you. If you're in an area where you're experiencing something that's unfathomable, like war, again, holding the frequency of peace in your mind, in your heart, and speaking peace, and then taking action to create peace in your microcosm. Each being that does that, it will generate peace and it will shift. I have watched it happen. Yet each person has to be willing to step out of fear and hold that and not let it go. So we can do that for ourselves and for others. And of course, hold prayers for our brothers and sisters globally, but get really concentrated in your local area, because that is your relationship to this earth system. And when we permeate from there versus being somewhere far away that we're missing the connection. The connection's right here through where your feet are resting. And you have the ability to start really contributing in very masterful ways. So as we go into this meditation, I want you just to, for a moment, think about your words that lead. Thoughts are words sometimes, and then our words that we speak are identifiable as a word, many words, and then how that flows into action. As we go into this meditation, I just welcome you to loosely connect to that which you create with your mind and your words on a daily basis with the conversation that you have for yourself. And we're just going to do that for a few moments. And then as I lead you in, then I want you just to imagine it flying away so you can really go into your own inner landscape in silence, but just to have a little purview of where you have been with your word. So just gently feel into that, feel into your the way that you speak about yourself, the way that you speak about others. And just hold that for a moment without judgment. And then gently from there, I just want you to take a nice deep breath into maybe what came up immediately about how you set the stage for the reality around you. Taking a deep breath in. And then exhale, releasing that, letting it go. Again, inhale. And exhale. Good. And as you continue to breathe in and out, I welcome you to just gently, in this moment, observe your natural breathing pattern and stay in an upright, seated position. And if your mind is busy, just gently gaze, a little zazen approach at a fixed spot in front of you. Taking another deep breath in. And out. Again, inhale. And exhale. Good. One more inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. And then gently from there, just observe your natural breathing pattern.
circle in the sun.
And gently from there, I welcome you to gently lean back and recline or move fully into Shavasana, a prone position on your back with your palms facing upward as we transition into receiving sound. As you settle in, just take a nice gentle breath into the heart and out. Again, inhale. And exhale. And one more inhale. And exhale. And then continue to follow your natural breathing pattern.
Ane, ane, ane,
ye anilam ano ani ai ane ye aniram ane ye aniram. Taking a soft, gentle breath, breathing in and out, welcoming you to connect to your heart, and just gently breathing in and out. Again, inhale. And exhale. Good. Another one. Inhale. And exhale. And just gently from there, as you breathe in and out, connecting to just your inner peace, your calm that is always with you. You are calm. You are an aspect of nature. And within that calm, within that knowing, I welcome you just to remember your words. We have the power of our words. We have been afforded being in a physical human body that allows us to create human life, contribute to creating human life, and to speak that which we want to be. And so as you move forward and as you sip up this full moon, or no matter when this talk has met you, I encourage you to think about your words and how you honor them and how they are best to be in alignment with your highest and best, your inner code of ethics. Each one of us can have different things that are important to us. Our ethics can be different, but an ethic is an ethic. So if you really identify those, and I always say 3 is plenty, 3 codes of ethics that are important, you can work towards embodying those and understanding what that means from the inside out. And then your words, that which you are wanting to be inside and outside of you, can be in harmony with that and help contribute to you receiving it and speaking it. And remember, communication is not just about speaking. It's about being and it's about receiving. And if I had to break it down, I would say a good 75% is listening, 20% of mindfully speaking, and 5% of creating the spaces in between. And that's something different than just the listening. So, with that being said, I welcome you to come up into an upright seated position if you're not there already. And then taking a nice deep breath in. And then exhale out. Again, inhale. And exhale. Good. Another one. Inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. And then gently from there, as you continue to breathe in and out, I welcome you to give thanks for yourself, all aspects of yourself. And may you find ease and grace in your own inner course correction. May your words and thoughts and actions mirror that which you want to be for thyself and the world around you. Until next time, I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. I want to thank Random Rab, Dante Marino, and Kadri Scott for your contributions. And we'll exit out with little Kadri Scott. And until next time, this is me, Suzanne, signing out with a full heart, a soft gaze, a deep bow, and a namaste. Be simply.